Hello, my dear. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. How are you today? So I don't remember doing a reading for you before, so I like to explain real quick kind of how this works. I see, hear, feel, sense, know. They talk to me, but they also show me pictures, and I call it spiritual charades. I try to describe the picture the best I can. They never waste a message. There is always a reason for whatever they show or say. So if it doesn't make any sense now, keep it in mind because you'll either remember it later, see it later, or somebody else will validate it for you later and go, oh, I know what he's talking about. This is not an exact science, so sometimes you'll have to stretch it outside the box a little bit. We communicate the best way we can. Like I said, they don't waste a message. So just he says, I love you, Buttercup. He's already talking. He's not waiting for me. And they make me itch. Their energy makes me itch. Like they have head lice or something. So you have to excuse the itching. Okay, he says you should feel like the soft tickle of his whiskers, like when he comes up close to you, and it could feel like everybody feels the energy different. So you're not going to feel it the same way I feel it, but it could feel like a hair you can't get off. It could be a tickle that you just keep messing with. It could actually be sticky, like sometimes whiskers can be. It can be just like you get real flushed because it's going to be on your cheek. It's like he's coming up and kind of giving you a sideways hug, and you'll feel those whiskers. So, and it'll probably vary slight. I've had them before when they're trying to get my attention. It feels like a pin sticking me. It's like, hey, we're trying to get your attention, Rhonda. So I know that sounds a little vague, but, but whenever you get something that you think is a sign from him, trust it and validate him, acknowledge him, tell him you love him, and ask him to bring you more signs. Sometimes they won't step forward so much because they're afraid they'll scare you. You think your house is haunted. They don't. They don't want to freak you out. Just tell him, and you don't have to say it out loud. He can hear you. He can see you. I promise you 1,000%. He can hear and see you. So just ask him. Tell him to bring you some. Ask him to bring you some signs, and then just wait and see what happens. Besides the whiskers. Okay, he keeps talking about blue, clear sky, blue, clear sky. Don't know that he's talking about the actual sky. Could be. I think George Strait sang a song. Let me see if I can have Alexa pull it up. Okay, so I was right. George Strait, blue, clear sky. He could, so he could be talking about the blue, clear sky, but I think he's talking about George. Maybe he's a George Strait fan. Go listen to that song. Google it, YouTube it, however you want, and listen to the words to it. There'll be a message in there for you from him. And know whenever you hear that song may pop on the radio, or you may hear somebody say it, or you could be walking through Walmart. There could be a picture there that says blue, clear sky, or even a George Strait poster. I know that sounds like we're stretching a little too much, but any of those things will be a sign from him, and it'll get your attention. Like sometimes I'll be walking through the store, and I just feel like I need to turn to the right and go, okay, what is in front of me that I'm supposed to observe? Usually it's an owl or something like that because that's a big sign for me. So again, validating. Let him know that you know that's from him. He he kind of sits back and he says, you really don't need any help from me. He says, you are doing very well on your own. He just kind of laid back, kicked back, relaxed, his arms folded. He said, I'm very proud of you. Everybody's going to make little hiccups. Learn to love yourself more. and learn to kick back and relax, like he's trying to do is really all kick back. Don't sweat the small stuff, let the little shit go. Don't make mountains out of molehills. Not worth it. Life is more beautiful than you give it credit for. Give it, life is more beautiful than you give credit for. You give it credit. I don't know, something like that. Don't always catch every single word that they say. He says, there's something you've been waiting for, something you've desperately been waiting for, hoping for, longing for, whatever word you want to use. And he says, you feel like it's on a slow boat to China. And he's kind of giggling. He said, wait for divine timing. It'll be here when it's supposed to be here. Out of the clear blue sky. It's blue, clear sky. He says clear blue sky this time. Okay, now he's talking about Stuart Little. So I don't know if somebody, I don't know how tall he was, or if somebody, that was that was like a movie or a cartoon or whatever about a mouse. Not, maybe you guys watched that together. Maybe you guys, somebody teased him, called him Stuart Little, like the mouse. Now he's talking about airplanes, and he's showing me a plane up in the sky. Sometimes they'll just throw words out. So whatever the first thing that comes to your mind when he mentions airplane, maybe you're going on a trip or you've just been on an airplane. Maybe you were a stewardess. I don't know. They don't usually explain. It's his show. It's his ball game. He can say or do whatever he wants within reason. I don't know why he's showing this. He's showing a bunch of little ants, but they look like cartoon ants. And I'm hearing the song, the ants go marching one by one, hoorah, hoorah. The ants go marching one by one, hoorah, hoorah. You don't want me to sing. Scare you. But they're little cartoon ants. There was a movie like this, wasn't there? A cartoon, like on a like on a like on a tape. Dang it. I can't even think what they're called. Not a CD, but whatever. Maybe you guys used to watch this cartoon, or maybe you guys used to sing this song together. Don't know. And he's showing, what? Was it just called Ants, A-N-T-Z? I had a daycare in my home for 25 years. I watched these cartoon things a zillion times. Think I'd know. Remember that. Not sure why he's referring to it, whether it's a memory and you guys used to watch it or he used to sing it to you. Or maybe you've had some ants marching around your house lately. He's talking about you worrying about somebody else when you need to be worrying about yourself. He's not saying that in a mean way. He's saying it like you're focusing all your attention on somebody else and you're worried about him, worried about him, worried about him. But you need to worry about you. Not that it's not a warning. It's not that there's anything wrong. There's nothing wrong. He's wanting you to pay more attention to yourself. Pay more attention to you. Pay more attention to what you need, to what your desires are, to what you want in life, to things like take that bubble bath, take that walk, take that time for yourself, go see a movie, those kind of things. He says you're focused so hard on somebody else, you're forgetting about you. And I'll tell you, when I first started this, I'll make it quick. One of the first things I had to learn was I had to take care of myself. And as a woman, don't do that. We always mother everybody else. But if we deplete ourselves, we have nothing left to give them. We can't give them as good as we want to give if we're all. So that's where he's going with that. It's not a warning. He comes. Turn my camera off. he's coming up and he's putting his hand on my shoulder, and he's kind of, I can feel the pressure of it. I can feel the pressure of it. Sometimes, and you'll feel that, it's like he's standing beside you and he's putting his hand on your shoulder, like, I'm here trying to bring you some love and peace, comfort, whatever it is you need. Don't be afraid to ask him. When you feel that little pressure on, and it could be left or right shoulder, but he's on my right shoulder right now. It could feel just like if you threw a tea towel on your shoulder. It could be that slight. It could be a warmth. It could be tingling. I'm not sure how you'll feel it. Again, validating. Let him know that you know he's there. And ask him to be there if that's what you want. That's your free will choice if you want to. So you've also smelled his cologne, and maybe you didn't pay any attention to it, but you will from now on when you smell it. Usually it's just a little whiff. You can be in your car, you can be outside, you could be going through the store. It doesn't matter. Get that whiff of, and he's kind of acting like he's all prissied up, like all dressed up, and whatever it was he wore when he got really dressed up nice, as he said he didn't like dressing up real nice. Whenever he was going out, whatever his favorite going out cologne was, you'll smell that. And he says you have smelled it. So again, validating, letting him know that you know that that's him, and asking to bring you more. Don't beg, don't demand. Just say, I would like for you to bring me these things. And he's been, darn it, I gotta turn that off. He's been bringing you lots of signs, evidently. You just didn't know that they were signs from him. And like I said, they don't want to scare you either. That's the last thing they want to do. Now he's singing the Hokey Pokey song. So I'm assuming this is another memory. And they'll try at least with one or two things to validate for sure that it's them that we're talking to. So he's singing, put your right foot in, put your right foot out, put your right foot in, and you shake it all about. Do the hokey pokey, and you turn yourself around. Might go Google the words to it. Could be something in the song for you. Maybe you just saw somebody do this in a movie, or maybe you used to do it with him when you were little, or maybe you just saw some kids doing it. Don't know, because like I said, they don't usually explain why they're saying these things. Just that anyway. Okay, he's standing right here, and he's squatted down, so he's about my height because I'm sitting on a stool. And he keeps putting his face up here, going, "Can she see me? Can she see me?" I don't think so. But you could look in this area. I don't think this camera has ever picked any of the energy up. We use cameras when we go paranormal hunting in some houses, and sometimes we'll get orbs, or we'll get figures or a shadow or something. So his head's right here. He's kind of squatted down here. You could see wavy lines. I don't think this camera will pick it up. At least it hasn't that I know of. You could see something go by. And I keep my house pretty cleansed with sage and stuff, so usually there's not orbs going through my pictures and stuff. Usually they're not allowed in my house without my permission, but he's here, so you might see, could possibly see something different here, because he keeps going, "Can she see me? Can she see me?" So also, okay, also know that if you think you saw somebody walking through your house, it's almost always in your peripheral vision. They even do it to me. And I call this peripheral vision too, because sometimes I can be working on my computer and I see something go by, and when I go look, it's not there. I think it's my imagination. So if you see something and you think, well, there's something there, but I turn my head and looked and it's not, know that that's him. Again, validate him, acknowledge him. And if it scares you, tell him you're not allowed to do that. Or if it comes in at a time that's uncomfortable for you, like in the middle of the night or whatever, tell them you're not allowed in here this time of night. You're scaring me. You're making me uncomfortable. Whatever works for you. They can hear you. And they should, if you ask, they should do what you ask. He says once you're comfortable with the signs that he's given you, and that's pretty much mostly what he's done today, and you trust him, then, and you're comfortable with him, then you'll start seeing more, hearing more, getting more from him once you relax with it, once you accept it, once you believe it. And what's going to hurt to believe it? You know, even if it's something that you're a little worried about, or you don't have to tell anybody. They don't need to know. You don't have to talk to him out loud. You can talk to him in your head. You can talk to him telepathically. I've talked to a real life person telepathically. And I wouldn't have believed it if it hadn't, we hadn't been, we were getting videoed at the time. And when I went back and watched it, I go, that conversation is not on that video. He says, know that I love you very much. And I'm sorry for not being more of a grandfather when I was here. And he doesn't mean father like his father, like in generations, more like a great father, an enormous, wonderful, a peer father. So that's his feelings, that he doesn't feel like he was grand enough as a father. But I love you very much. And I hope you always knew that. Yep, and he got real quiet. Okay, but with that, he's leaving. So he's walking away, but I don't know, did he used to nod his head a lot or something? He's kind of nodding his head as he walks away, kind of bobbing his head. He's waving as he's leaving. Anyway, know that when you get comfortable with these signs, you'll get more, or you'll get them more often, or you'll realize what they are when you do get them. Almost everybody gets signs from their loved ones. They just don't realize that they are signs. Okay, much love to you, my dear. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, voice for your loved ones. See you later.